where Rakshasas went after Dwapara Yuga. Suddenly, big giants, we are not seeing all of them now. Where did all of them disappear suddenly? Okay, very difficult question. So you see, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that Nangshatyayur Balam Smritihi. When Kali Yuga progresses, there are many things which diminish. Ayu, the lifespan of the human beings will diminish. Balam, the physical strength of human beings will diminish. Smriti, the remembrance, the power of remembrance will reduce. The truthfulness of the people will reduce. The height of the people will reduce. So these are all different aspects of the human, not only humans, all animals also. These aspects we can see, they are actually happening. So I remember my grandfather. My grandfather, his elder brother lived till 96 years. And my grandfather himself, he lived till he was 85, and he had a fall and he hit his head somewhere and he had a hemorrhage and he died. Otherwise, he was hale and hearty. He used to walk without a walking stick. He used to drive a car even at 85. All, eyesight, there was no problem with his eyesight, there was no diabetes, there was no BP, hale and hearty. Today, if I am talking of when my grandfather passed away in about 1993. So that's about 30 years ago. So today, 30 years later, you see, today, if you look at any person, if he is 45 years old, he goes to anybody's house, they will ask him, do you want coffee or tea? With or without sugar? That is the first question that comes. Because the assumption is, if you cross 40, you must have got diabetes. So, diabetes, blood pressure, heart attacks, these things have become so common. When I was a child, when I was a very small child, when I was about maybe 10 years, 12 years old, my grandfather's elder brother, when he passed away, he was 96, he died of heart attack. So all the people were telling, heart attack, you see? He died of, he got heart attack. Oh really, heart attack? He got heart attack. Heart attack was such a big thing. Now you see in the news, one weightlifter or bodybuilder or some influencer, he was a bodybuilder, some 40 years old, he was lifting weights, had a heart attack, died. Half the age, not 96 years, somebody got heart attack. It was a big thing those days. Today, somebody has a heart attack for 45. This has all become common. So you see, the lifespan of the people, life expectancy, also you cannot expect a person that he will live hale and hearty till 90 years, 100 years. 100 years is also very rare. If you cross 60 years, and that too without diabetes and heart problem, you will never find such people. Very difficult to find such people. So with time, the people's strength is also reducing. If you look at the Mahabharata description of the power of Bhima, Bhima had the strength of 10,000 elephants. So such strong people, where do we find them nowadays? We don't find. That does not mean in the past such powerful people could not have existed. So you will see today there is people's strength is at a certain level. 50 years down the line, people's strength will further reduce. In the olden times, there were people who, once they hear something from their spiritual master, they will remember for life, they will not forget. You see, even today, one devotee was telling me in Andhra Pradesh, there are one set of scholars, Sanskrit scholars. So these scholars are called Ashtadhyayi or something like that. What they will do is, they will have a big program where they will invite different scholars, Sanskrit scholars, and this one man will sit, and 8 people will sit in front of him, and they will put questions. One person will put one question, second person will put another question, third person will put another question. Like here, what happens is, we are getting questions on slips, and one by one we are addressing. There, you cannot note down, you cannot use your mobile, you cannot record, you cannot do all those things. You have to simply sit, and in a sequence, 1 to 8 people will put their questions. This man has to remember each question in the proper sequence in which the questions have been asked, and he has to reply to each of them. Now there are people who will do that with 16 people. 16 people will sit and they will ask, each of them will ask a different question, 1 to 16, continuously they'll ask the question, then he has to remember all the 16 questions and he has to give suitable answers for that. Can you imagine that? There are people even today who do it even with 100 people. They'll make 100 people sit in front of them. 100 people will ask 100 different questions. He will remember each question in the sequence it was asked and he will reply to each of them. Even today there are people like that. But how many people are there? In the olden days it was very common. Nowadays when you are hearing this, most of you, there is somebody from Andhra, you may already be aware. But for others, for all of us, my God, can somebody do this? You can see even on YouTube, those videos are there. It's actually a reality. So, this kind of smriti, remembrance, you will see as time goes by, these people have already become rare, it will become extinct. People will not be able to remember that much. Today, if we have to calculate anything, we need calculators. Otherwise, we cannot calculate. Our remembrance has become so dull. We need mobile phones to put reminders. We need our tablets and our computers to, list all our tasks. Otherwise, we cannot remember. We will tell one thing, after half an hour, we will have forgotten. Whereas in the olden times also, people were building big monuments, big temples, big dams, bridges, all these things they were building. That time also they were doing all those calculations without calculators, without computers. They were doing it. They were able to do it. And so precisely they were able to do it. So that means the people of the olden ages had greater intelligence. So even the height of the people is reducing. Height of the people, their strength, their memory power, their lifespan, all these things are reducing in Kali Yuga. So in fact, the Srimad Bhagavatam says that towards the end of Kali Yuga, the entire Kali Yuga will last for 432,000 years, 432,000 years, out of which we have passed a little more than 5,000 years. It is said that Kali Yuga started somewhere around 3107 BC. So you can calculate how many years, a little more than 5,000 years have passed. So 4,27,000 years is still left. Towards the end of that 4,32,000 years, when Kali Yuga is nearing its end, Vimshati Trimshati Varshaha, the people's lifespan will be reduced to 20 or 30 years. If somebody lives for 30 years, grand old man. So old, 30 years he has become. It will become like that. Today, if somebody lives for 100 years, grand old man, 100 years he lived. It will become like that today. Towards the end of Kali Yuga, if somebody lives for 30 years, it will be like that. And not only that, the size of the cows will become the size of the dogs. So human beings will also proportionately become small. So all these things are predicted already in the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's all one by one slowly it is coming through. So in the previous ages, the sizes of the people was different. So naturally, if you look at the size of Bhima and all that, it was different. In fact, there is one place, I think it was Lepakshi or somewhere, where it is said that there is one stone bangle kind of thing. So it is said that it is a huge thing. It's quite big, probably the size of a football or something like that. It is said that this was a bangle which Bhima could wear. So you can imagine Bhima's size. And it is said that Bhima, he found this and he was asking someone, what is this like nice bangle? Somebody told him, oh, that was the, Kalgejje. In women, they have this touring. This was the touring of Sita Maya. So the touring of Sita Maya became like a bangle for Bhima. That means how much the size has reduced. And that today, it is so big, it is like, it is almost like a football, that kind of size. So you can imagine the reduction in the size of the people which has happened over the ages. So this is natural in Kali Yuga. The people's sizes will reduce, so you cannot expect people of the kind of size which used to exist in the olden ages to exist even now also. So these things are part of Kali Yuga. People's, all these faculties will keep reducing. People will keep, growing lesser and lesser in all their different faculties.